This is the province of combat, and these are the faces of war.
Hey, you ranking rude boy!
We were on our way to California, and I remember on my like Nokia phone getting like a cryptic text from a Virgin Islands number that was like dates and offers, all like old black and white and I was like, guys, look at my phone, we can go. And so we came over here for the first time, and our first show here was at Rum Lines, and it was like a party, and it was crazy. And then I fell in love with St. John, started coming back every year. I definitely think the tempo of life here pushes you to relax and to slow down the pace of your thoughts and to slow down the pace of your lifestyle, just because that's the island pace. You know, you have to really adapt to what everyone else is doing and the tempo that they want to do stuff at. The most fun things about being here is the routine of like, okay, I'm gonna get up, drink my coffee on my porch, get out, do a hike, you know, get some exercise, get down to the ocean. It makes you feel really good. To be down here, living like a healthy lifestyle, and getting the time to work on myself. So yeah, I mean, I think it's partially vacation, partially work. Anyone that I've met from the last, like you said, 15 years of coming to play here, I see them, I get this feeling, like, you know, in your heart, where you're like, I've made some impact here, and for a place this beautiful and this picturesque and special, there's not, you know, I've done a lot of traveling around the Caribbean, but there really is nowhere like St. John. My father plays piano, but he's not a career musician, and my mom played saxophone when she was younger, and both music lovers, you know. And
so it was around. Music was around.
Yeah, my grandmother played guitar. I actually have her guitar, and it's one of my like prized possessions because it's like an early 1900s dobro, and that's one of the reasons why I like playing dobros when I do my solo set, because it's like a little bit of an homage to my grandmother, you know, and that like, you know, Appalachian music history with them being from North Carolina, you know.
They look stunning and they sound even better.
Yeah, I like the sound. I mean, you can get a little bit of like a banjo thing happening. You can get a little bit of a you know, some other kind of vibes happening.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I mean, I grew up playing heavy rock, and that's really how I got chops on the guitar, was playing rock and punk rock and metal. But then I started playing in this Afrobeat band called Azuite with a really, really diverse group of players. You know, Rasta and Hare Krishna and really diverse cultural background being in Chicago there, and we were playing a lot of, you know, Fela and Tony Allen influenced music.
Right on.
Noah Combination for Lagos, and we had Dune Dunes and full, you know, Ashiko drum and flugelhorn and horn section, and it was kind of like Funkadelic meets Fela, you know, kind of was the vibe that we were throwing down, and that group of players really was like, hey, like, we know you like this other kind of music, but they exposed me to, you know, John Coltrane and Sun Ra and Burning Spear and Bunny Wailer and all the musicians that I've like grown to really love. And that, I mean, I like all music really, except music that comes from a place of only wanting to be profitable and not necessarily be like creative. But I feel like that group of musicians are the ones that they helped me fall in love with reggae.
Make some noise if you like reggae music. When I first started coming to St. John in 06, we had just rammed the place with reggae music. Now we're bringing it back.
It really is this big, massive thing that's like a movement that Bob Marley started and popularized and, you know, brought to the masses. And I like to work with musicians that show reverence to the history of the culture. And I think all the artists you mentioned do that. I think everyone loves it. Story for Berkeley. So like I showed up to a classical guitar lab with like a gold Fender Stratocaster, and the teacher was like, get out of here. He's like you can't come into my class without a proper instrument. And I remember that same day going down to the office and just dropping the class. You know, because like I didn't have a classical guitar, and I mean I grow my nails long for finger picking, but like the guys that have influenced me are Mark Knopfler, Chet Atkins, Danny Gatton, you know, like Elmore James. I mean, I feel really lucky that I did National Guitar Workshop in Austin, Texas before I went to Berkeley, because some of the best teachers I had outside of Ron, the teacher I mentioned earlier in Chicago, were there. And I think specifically Matt Smith, who's still in Austin, he's an amazing guitarist, he got me on the right track. So when I experienced some adversity at Berkeley, as far as everyone, when you're teaching guitar, you have to empower people to discover what they love about guitar. It's kind of like you're not gonna be able to teach someone that they love burritos by like shoving a burrito down their throat and they can't breathe. And I feel like sometimes people are so passionate and so one way about their process of teaching that maybe it doesn't always work for that learning style. I maybe wasn't mature enough to absorb everything because I was so conflicted, like, oh, do I want to be out on the road, or oh, I've got shows every night, or what am I doing? I want to, and it's like, you can't do all of it. You have to pick what you want to do. So, I mean, to the credit of all the professors that I had there, especially Matt Jensen, who started the Bob Marley Ensemble, amazing teacher. He's teaching the next generation of people about reggae. I think at the end of the day, like, it's, we're all just human sponges, and sometimes the sponge dries up and you can't, sometimes you don't absorb everything at a different pace. With playing guitar, I always want whoever hears me play guitar to feel the out-of-body metaphysical connection to the instrument, because like, it's making an inanimate object sing, and it's like a laser beam that you're like shooting out into the ether for people to connect to your spirit and what your spirit's telling, where it's like with reggae, with Rastafari, with faith, with creation, and that message is so potent and so needed nowadays, with the state of the world getting much, much harder for us to understand. Why I think, it's just trying to not only feel blessed and be thankful, but also share that so that other people feel that energy from you.
You can see their joy.
Yeah, and when you experience that as a performer, you're like, oh, this is why I do this. There's so many things that are hard, and playing music here isn't one of them. Playing music for a career is hard. It's a hard job, but it's also the best job. I think one of the coolest things about what I've been working on as a career guitarist for the last, however many years it's been now, but is that I like playing so many different styles that I've been granted some opportunities to really play different styles, and I like to think that I bring a level of authenticity to those various styles just because of my background. In this past 10 years, I mean, most recently I did an awesome tour with G-Love, and he was calling it G-Love and the Juice. Also, some shows with Special Sauce, but that was like playing blues and rock again, which growing up in Chicago and playing in the blues bars and stuff, being out with them and getting to play blues and improvise every night felt really good.
Won't you help me blink to see? I feel so wiry. I fill my cup and I flow so highly. Never hesitate, never time. And help me blink to see.
Back home in Boston, where I live now, we have Organically Good Trio, which is like Paul and Tommy and myself. And that band, I mean, it's heavily influenced by soul jazz, various organ trios, but then with elements of early Jamaican music like Jackie Me Too and early rock steady and stuff like that. So that's that's an incredible project, just because Paul is such an amazing organist and Tommy's my number one drummer, and we get doing something in such a tight-knit group So I feel like that we get to explore not only jazz and funk and more soul jazz influenced music, but also like throwback early to like Studio One.
Having gigs and being able to literally experiment while you're gigging, that's probably the purest form of enjoyment for music, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that like certain circumstances produce different results. So like I think some bands, there's a standard of like what is expected as far as like the style you improvise. Like, oh, I'm not going to go too far off the ledge in this direction or that direction. I think that's one of the reasons why these solo gigs are so rewarding, is because it's just me and I can experiment. And even if I try something that doesn't work, at least I tried it. Whereas like in a band dynamic, you're all holding each other up, so maybe you take at sometimes less risks, musically, or sometimes you take tons of risks musically, and everyone's on board with those risks. Continue to explore as many collaborations as come up.
Oh, come rain, come shine, we're in the storm. Only Jaja will keep our warm. Oh, oh. Lay me down. Pallet soft and low, or lay me down, pallet on your floor.
When I sleep, my back and shoulders get tired. The way I sleep, my back and shoulders get tired. Oh, come tomorrow, baby, I'll be satisfied when I finally get on that train and ride.
Oh, lay me down, a pallet on your floor.
Lay me down on a pallet on your floor. Lay me down, a pallet soft and low. Make me down, a pallet on your floor.
But I also think there's been something really empowering that, like, my last two releases were just me, and songs that I wrote, song form, and I'm gonna continue on that track for a little while. I've got a few more in the can from that batch of tunes that I'm planning on releasing, and it's great because I think down here they're used to cover bands and top 40 and stuff like that, and I kind of unapologetically don't do that. So I feel like I'm sometimes challenging the listener to be more open-minded, and I mean sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And not everyone loves reggae the way I do or the way that we do. But I like to pepper in some blues and some of my guitar background within the construct of this genre and song form, and try to make it my own. I feel super grateful that I've been able to do this for a living, and especially come down here to St. John and leave my footprint here,
Gotta keep on pushing. I can't stop now. Move up a little higher.